How to write in middle school. An informational essay. What do you have in common with a character from a book or a movie? Copyright 2017, Luke Sullivan. The Common Core expects middle school students to be proficient using an informational writing structure. 4 common informational thinking strategies are describe, tell how to, compare and contrast, and answer a question or make a point. This kind of writing examines a topic and conveys ideas, concepts, and information about the topic. Today's prompt. Sometimes people recognize similarities between themselves and a character from a book or a movie. Write about a character from a book or movie who you think is similar to you. What do you have in common with this character? What is different? Why did you choose this character? Support your writing with specific details and examples. Begin by examining the prompt. It wants a compare and contrast thinking structure. Common, different. It is arranged as a series of 3 questions. The first 2 ask for thinking that gives description, examples, and asks to compare and contrast relatively simple ideas. The third question asks the writer to evaluate the information and connect it to their life, a relatively more complex idea. So, paragraphs 1 and 2 present information, and the last paragraph is where the writer shows the higher order thinking. Brainstorm. What are ways we can be the same or different with other people? Children need to talk about the prompt and all the associated ideas. Discussion activates the student's ability to fully develop big idea paragraphs and see the relationships among the ideas. Don't skip or shorten this work. Find situations for the students to talk about the prompt and their ideas. Some ways ask us to remember or understand relatively simple concepts. Others require students to analyze or evaluate, to connect the information. A more complex thinking strategy. The writer must include both kinds of thinking in their essay. Decide on the character that you think is similar to you. Complete a character worksheet for the character and for yourself. Then use those worksheets to complete a Venn diagram. Each circle contains ideas about the 2 people being compared. The overlap identifies their similarities. You'll use these ideas and details in your similarities paragraph. The other ideas and details are used in your differences paragraph. Students must choose how they want to organize their essay. Here's one way: a paragraph detailing how we are similar, a paragraph detailing how we are different, and then a close analysis of why you chose this character. A different way is to give a detailed examination of your character, then a detailed examination of yourself, and then end with a close analysis of why you chose this character. Choose the way you want to organize your essay, then complete your informational graphic organizer. Yesterday you were given a prompt that asked you to compare and contrast yourself with a character from a book or a movie. You completed 2 profiles or detailed examinations, one of yourself and one of the character. You organized the details using a Venn diagram. You completed a graphic organizer. Today, you'll assemble a first draft. Examine your graphic organizer. This is a representation of the thinking you'll put in your essay. Did you include all the details you wanted from your profiles? Did you put the details in the right big idea sections? Is your last paragraph an analysis of the information you've presented? The first paragraph of the essay must do three things. It must grab the reader's attention, introduce the topic, and state your thesis, why you are writing this essay. Think of the acronym HIT. Here are 5 common techniques for grabbing the reader's attention. Use a quote, ask a question, make a strong announcement, ask a riddle, or tell a very short story. The next sentence, or sentences, is where you introduce the topic to the reader. The top of the graphic organizer is an upside-down triangle. This serves to remind the writer to introduce the topic with general statements and move to the specific topic, which is your thesis. Look at your graphic organizer and the sections designated for your big ideas. This is the thinking you're going to put into your writing. I often copy and paste all of it right into my draft. Sometimes the topic of the paragraph is written as a heading. This is also a common way of representing your big ideas in an informational essay. We'll use the first sentence to introduce the topic of the paragraph. The next few sentences provide an explanation of the big idea using different words and examples. Be sure to use signaling words that indicate you're making comparisons. Write your first big idea paragraph. The next paragraph is modeled in the same way, but now the topic is differences. Also, be sure to use signaling words that indicate differences. Both of these paragraphs present information. They list what's the same and what's different about the big ideas. They generally use lower-order thinking strategies. The next paragraph is where the student is expected to demonstrate higher-order thinking. The question why leads to an analysis or evaluation of the factors that led the writer to choose this character. The structure of the paragraph is the triad the student has learned in earlier lessons: a reason, followed by an explanation, and illustrated with a specific example. The essay ends with a summary and so what paragraph. The paragraph does 3 things. It signals the end of the essay, it restates the big ideas from the essay, and it prompts the reader to continue to think about your ideas after putting down your essay. Use words that signal the conclusion of the essay and restate your thesis. The next sentence or sentences briefly reminds the reader of your 3 big ideas. The last sentences prompt the reader to continue to think about your essay. Here are 4 common techniques. Mention something bigger associated with the topic of your essay. Give a call to action. Ask a question, or provide some suggestions. You spent your first day gathering and creating all the elements for your essay. You organized them in an informational or expository structure. The next day was spent assembling the elements into sentences and paragraphs. This last day is for revisions. Revise means to look at again. You'll reread your essay 5 times, each time through a new lens. First read-through. Focus. Do your big ideas connect to your thesis? Second read-through. Content. Do you have opening and closing paragraphs? Do you have 3 fully developed big ideas? Third read-through. Organization. Do you use the early paragraphs to present information with lower order thinking skills and the later paragraphs to analyze this information? Fourth read-through. Style. Do your sentences begin the same way? Do you write with long and short sentences? Do you use dialogue? Do you set the right tone for your audience? Fifth read-through. Conventions. Check for run-on sentences, fragments, verb agreement, spelling, punctuation. Some people read the essay backwards, 1 sentence at a time, to check for conventions. Good job!